Dr Cam Calder.
Thanks, Mr Speaker. It's a great pleasure to rise and speak on this bill. Philanthropy, Mr Speaker, philanthropy is performing charitable or benevolent acts. Like the quality of mercy, it blesses those that give and those that receive. It was very common in Victorian times, and as we know, some of the world's richest men, such as Warren Buffett and Bill Gates, are actively promoting the idea of philanthropy globally around the world today. Acts of philanthropy have played a significant role in the development of New Zealand's communities. And I'm thinking of another as I stand here. The Atua Creek Farm, for instance, Mr Speaker, just to the west of Wellsford, a large waterfront frontage, beautiful standing trees and wetlands, given to the people of New Zealand by Pierre and Jackie Chatelard, became Auckland's 23rd regional park in 2006. This was a very, very generous gift because the value at the time was some $10 million. Rotorua Island, 82 hectares, just to the east of Waiheke Island, a beautiful island, closed to the public for some 100 years, owned by the Salvation Army and used by the Salvation Army in a bid to treat alcoholics and help them on the road to recovery, has been opened up to the people of New Zealand by the generous involvement of a couple who have bought the lease from the Salvation Army and allowed that land to be open to the public and the money used by the Army to progress its works in the meantime. Sir John Logan Campbell is another philanthropist that springs to mind. Gave the 1901 the gift of Cornwall Park to the people of Auckland, and that is a park that people throughout New Zealand have used and enjoyed for many, many years and continue to do so to this day. I remember as a young lad coming up from the Naki to Auckland, it was a great pleasure to drive through those beautiful fields with stock grazing on them, stone walls, and it was a reminder, certainly seeing the stock in the fields of home, even though it was all those miles away. Sir John Mackenzie was a well-known and successful businessman, forming the J.R. Mackenzie Trust in 1940, which has a very good deed, which allows the board to give money for charitable and education purposes in whatever manner they so wish. And as a young boy, off to Otago University, growing up in a single-parent family, I received a donation from the Mackenzie Trust, which was gratefully appreciated at the time and indeed to this day. Now, we heard that the land from Parana Park was originally gifted in 1929 by George Parr. I would submit to you that he was yet another philanthropist worthy of recognition, and it's totally appropriate that we should be thinking of him and mentioning his name in the House today. He gave as a farmer, and someone mentioned he was a liberal farmer, so his giving was in the tradition of his beliefs. He gave the land to the Hamilton City to be used for a children's convalescent home, initially for patients from Waikato Hospital. In the 50s it became apparent that that was no longer suitable for such use, and this bill will vest Parana Park and Hamilton City Council as a recreation reserve. Parana Park will forever be a testimony to the philanthropy and benevolence of George Parr, and I commend this bill to the House. Thank you.
Chris Farfoy.
Mr Speaker, it's an